Okay, so today we're going to be doing on journaling. Now, it doesn't have to be journaling that you do. I went on the internet and I found this. It's called The First Day of School, author unknown. It's from schoolsomething.com, but it didn't print it. So I'll put it on the Facebook group where I got this, but there was one for a boy and there was one for a girl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this little poem, I guess, half on this side with room to leave a picture, and then half on the other side with room for two pictures. So I've printed two pictures, about 3 by 4, I would say. Yeah. And so I'm going to try to make this fit in there. And then I'm going to do it on my typewriter, but you can write it out. And then we'll go through how I'm going to make it look so that it looks different. And the pattern papers, this is the page kit that I decided to use. Oh, the butterfly stuck to this. Because it said the best day ever, favorite. This said sweet girl, but we don't have to use that. The best is yet to come. So there's lots that I can use on this page. And the pattern paper is basic gray, 25th and pine. Probably won't use that now, but I can just put it aside and use it with another layout. Sweet Day, Sweet Bird from Echo Park. I'm going to use this side. And then Alison Craft Recorded, Webster's Pages. I'm going to use this side as the background, but because there's going to be white, I'm just going to gut the inside, and then I can also mat the photos with that. So now I'm just going to put you on fast forward, and we're going to get this done. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to change the name of the prompt. This is actually going to be using a typewriter, and I'll do another page for journaling because I didn't necessarily come up with the journaling myself, and mainly I use the typewriter. So I want to talk about using a typewriter in your albums. So let's get started. So years ago, I would not use my handwriting in any of my albums. I would only type out my journaling, and I didn't have a typewriter back then, but what I did use was on my computer. I would, open a document, type out my journaling, print it off on a piece of cardstock, and that's how I would get my journaling done. Then I decided that I had to get over that and use my handwriting. Well, I went on the complete opposite, and now I almost never use a typewriter or type in my scrapbook, so I thought it would be fun to use my typewriter. Now, if you don't have a typewriter, it's like I said, you don't need a typewriter. What you can do is do your journaling on your computer, then print it off on a regular piece of white cardstock, and you can cut it into strips and put it on your layout, and it would have the same effect. I just had my typewriter, so I decided that it was high time to use it. Once I have the whole, typed out, then I went into my stash of stickers. I found some little stickers to replace some of the words that was in that poem. And then when I kind of ran out of stickers that I couldn't find anymore, then I got my gelatos out and I colored in some of the words in different colors. And I used mainly primary colors because he was starting kindergarten. And then I took my jelly pen and I outlined some of them. I made a little box over top some of them. So I made sure to kind of highlight, school and kindergarten, and, at one point it says he's not a baby anymore. So I wanted some of those words to really pop on the layout. So those are the words that I highlighted. So basically that typing has now become part of my background. I'm going to cut down that white cardstock to 11 by 11, and I'm going to mount it on this piece of pattern paper. I really love that pattern paper, so I'm going to take my ruler and my X-Acto knife, and I'm going to gut out the inside so that I can, mat my photos using that pattern paper, and maybe, use some more of this pattern paper on another layout. I printed 2 photos on my Canon Selfie. They're about 3x4, and I'm going to mount them both on some black cardstock, going in the center of the black cardstock, and then taking my Perfect Layers ruler and my X-Acto knife and just putting a little mat around the photo. That's probably one of my favorite methods to save, whether it's cardstock or pattern paper, is to use the inside of your sheet of paper or pattern paper, and then that way you can use the outside of it if I wanted to mat an entire layout. Now I went into my stash and got the hickory smoke, and I'm going to ink the edges of all the pattern papers and all the embellishments. A lot of times I prefer using hickory smoke over black soot because I find black soot is kind of bold and hickory smoke is exactly what it says. It's kind of smoky and it's not as bold. I might as well glue down that cardstock because I know exactly where I want it to go. I decided on this photo for the right side of the layout because he's pointing towards the left, so it's like he's pointing towards the poem, when in actuality he's pointing on his name on the board because his name was on the outside of the room, so I got him to point at his name. Actually, he found it even before we asked him to point to it. So he found his name and he said, "Oh, there's my name." So I got him to stay like that and I took a picture. Then the other picture was just a picture of him just before we brought him into class. So I matted the photo on black cardstock. Then I rematted the photo on the part where I gutted out that pattern paper. And then I'm going to make a bigger mat on top of that, and both photos I'm going to use different mats just because I wanted them to be a little different. Now the background is settled. We've matted the photos. Then I brought in all my embellishment that I had put with this page kit. There was this square frame that was in this page kit, and I thought it was the perfect thing, the perfect element or embellishment to connect these 2 photos. So I'm going to put them right in the middle. I'm going to put that square frame right in the middle and have both photos on either side. Then I found this acetate of a heart, and I thought it went perfect inside that square. Then it was time to work on my title. So I went to get my Doodlebug design, those teensy type alphas, and I'm just going to write on either side of the photo, starting at the bottom, photo first day of school, and that's going to be my title. Then I want to give me a space where I could do my journaling, so right underneath that square I'm going to take my T-square ruler and I'm going to make myself some lines for some journaling. Before I started that, because I put my T-square ruler up to that square, I noticed how crooked it was. So I made sure to fix that up. I'm going to take my date stamper and I'm going to put the 4th of September because that was his first day of school. Next, I want to add some ink splatters, so I'm going to take out my Heidi Swapp matte and my Heidi Swapp black velvet ink. I'm going to make sure to cover my photos. I'm going to splatter it with some black ink, and then I thought, you know what, you highlighted some of the words in different colors, so I'm going to go and get some red ink, and then I'm going to get some yellow ink, just because it reminded me of some school colors. And that's it. That's going to complete this layout. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about using a large die cut. So we'll see you there.